the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, I will discuss and explain the text questions of the first unit of biology of class 9th, that is the fundamental unit of life. I will also provide the answers to these questions. I will start with the first question or with the first text question. The first question is, who discovered cells and how? I have given answer to this question in my first video. Now I will try to be brief and give the answer to this question. Cells were discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. Robert Hooke in 1665. Cells were discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He observed a thin slice of cork. Cork is the bark of a tree. He noticed honeycomb-like compartments within the cork, and he called these compartments within the cork as cells. Cell is actually a Latin word meaning little room. So we can say the answer of the first text question is like this. Cells were discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He observed a thin slice of cork, bark of a tree, under his self-designed microscope. He noticed honeycomb-like compartments within the cork and called these compartments as cells. Cell is derived from a Latin word cellula, which means little room. This is the answer to the first question. Now the second question is, why is cell called structural and functional unit of life? I will explain it in two parts. Cell is called structural unit of life because all living organisms are either made up of single cell, as in case of unicellular organisms, or of many cells, as is the case in multicellular organisms. Cell is also called functional unit of life because all the life processes which are essential for maintaining the life are also carried out by the cell. So the answer you can write goes like this. Cell is called structural unit of life because all living organisms are made up of cell or cells. It is also called functional unit of life because all the life processes which are essential for maintaining the life are performed by the cell or cells. Now, the third text question is, how do substances like carbon dioxide and water move in and out of the cell? Carbon dioxide moves in and out of the cell by the process of diffusion. Diffusion is the process in which substances move from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So Carbon dioxide moves in and out of the cell by the process of diffusion. Carbon dioxide is a cellular waste and its concentration is low in cell's external environment as compared to inside of the cell. So it moves out of the cell by the process of diffusion. Water also obeys the law of diffusion. Its movement through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. So we can say carbon dioxide and water move in and out of the cell by the process of diffusion. The movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane, the diffusion of water through a semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Then the fourth question is, why is plasma membrane called semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane? Plasma membrane is called selectively permeable membrane because it allows some substances to move in and out of the cell and also prevent some substances to move in and out of the cell. That's why plasma membrane is called selectively permeable. The fifth question, the fifth text question is, there is a table given at the book. On one side is prokaryotic cell and on the other side is eukaryotic cell, and we have to complete the differences. The difference between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell is first on the basis of size. Prokaryotic or genophore. The third difference is nuclear region is poorly developed and without nuclear region is poorly developed without nuclear membrane and is known as nucleoid or genophore. Here nuclear region is well developed and nucleus is covered by a membrane called nuclear membrane. Fourth difference is membrane bound cell organelles are absent, membrane bound cell organelles are present. Sixth textbook question is, can you name the two organelles which have their own genetic material? The two organelles which have their own genetic material are chloroplast and mitochondria. Sixth answer to the sixth text question is mitochondria and chloroplast. Mitochondria and chloroplast are the two cell organelles which have their own genetic material. They also possess their own ribosomes. Although the DNA and ribosomes are of prokaryotic type, but DNA and ribosomes are present there in these two organelles, mitochondria and chloroplast. The seventh question is, if the organization of the cell is destroyed due to physical or chemical influence, what will happen? If the organization of the cell is destroyed either by physical or chemical influence, the lysosomes present in the cell would rupture or burst, and the digestive enzymes present in them will digest the cell, causing the death of the cell. This is the answer to the seventh question. Eighth question is, why are lysosomes called suicide bags? Lysosomes are called suicide bags because they contain hydrolytic enzymes or digestive enzymes which can cause digestion of the cell. So we can say that lysosomes are called suicide bags because they have hydrolytic or digestive enzymes in them. And if these lysosomes rupture or burst by any means, they will lead to the death of the cell. That is why they are known as suicide bags. The eighth question is, why are proteins synthesized in the cell? We all know that proteins in the cell are synthesized by the ribosomes. Ribosomes synthesize proteins inside the cell. This was the part first of the textbook questions explained. Inshallah, I will upload another part explaining the answers of the questions which were given. In the end, I would like you to subscribe to the channel by searching sknowledgetreasure on the icon so that you can receive timely notification for my